Hey, it's Chaba here, and in this video, I want to do something really cool. We're going to dissect an email, and I'm going to actually rewrite it in real time together with you. And this email was sent to me by one of my students inside my From Zero to Copywriting Hero training program. Now, if you haven't heard about this, it's basically a 5-week program in which I help people go from totally beginners, from totally zero to successful freelance copywriters in 5 weeks. And inside the program, there's also a bunch of assignments and things that I make my students do, but I also give them a lot of personal feedback and support, and I critique their copy, and they find it really, really useful. So this email, it's going to be actually the first time I'm going to see this email, and most likely it's already has a few things going for it, but we're going to make it even better. And make sure to watch this video till the end, because I'm confident you're going to learn a lot from this. All right, so welcome everybody to the email itself. And just before we dive deeper into analyzing the email itself and rewriting it, just a little bit of context. So this is a welcome email. What this means is that people get this email immediately after they subscribe to an email list in order to get something, a lead magnet or also called a freebie. So this can be anything from a free checklist, a cheat sheet, a mini course, an email course, a free video, a little booklet, or something like that. The idea here is that people get to an ad that can be a Facebook ad or a YouTube ad, or maybe even a content piece, an article or something. And what happens there is that they click the link, they get to a landing page where they get a promise. And the promise is that this little lead magnet, or also called freebie, will help them solve a specific burning problem. And once they submit their name and email address, then they get this welcome email with the downloadable as well as some next steps. And this is really important, and a lot of people miss it, unfortunately, is that a lot of people just give people what they wanted, or maybe they give it through the thank you page. That's also an option. But the welcome email also has a more important job. It's to set expectations and next steps, what will happen from now on, like what you can expect, what type of emails you'll send them, the person, and all these things, and also you want to encourage them to reply or something, to get back to you, because then that that may start cool conversations first of all. Secondly, it also increases your email reputation score. It lowers your email spam score, and it tells email service providers that yes, this person is legit, and it was not a problem to subscribe the subscriber to this person's email list. This person means the business owner. So as we edit this email, keep this in mind, okay? So this is a welcome email, and based on what the student who submitted this from Zero to Copywriting Hero, said, I'm assuming that this is like a free little booklet, or like a free little thing that they can get access to, okay? So the other thing I immediately noticed is that this email is formatted in a weird way. First of all, the height between lines is too consistent between all the lines. It's hard to see paragraphs. It's not that easy to see the paragraphs, and this is one of the issues. The other one is that paragraphs are way too long. So ideally, you want your email to be very easily skimmable, because most people won't read it, most of it, and for those who do read it, it's important to have the feeling of airiness, so that they don't get overwhelmed by all this text and everything. You have to give them a clear message, which is also easy to see, easy to understand. So the first thing that we're going to do here is that we're going to eliminate these little white spaces here, because people read from left to right, so it's usually a good idea to not try to reinvent the wheel here. Just make it as any other type of text. It's left aligned, and this is totally cool. The other things we'll do is that we want to make the paragraphs stand out a little bit more. So what I usually like to do is that I put like 2 before and I put like 8 after, and I'm gonna put like 1.3 here, line spacing, apply. And like already it's easier to see the individual paragraphs. Sure, the height between lines is shorter, but that won't be a problem because ideally we want to have like a single thought per paragraph. Okay, so we can have 1 line or 1 sentence per paragraph, 2 sentences, maximum 3 sentences, but not really more, because again, it makes the whole thing harder to read. So I'm gonna basically make this text more easy to read, and I'm gonna separate all the various thoughts into separate paragraphs, and I'm also gonna rewrite it in the process. So first of all, welcome, and this is the name of the subscriber. This can be customized in every email service provider. Welcome, Joseph Taylor. As promised, click here now to preview the best mobility manual in the world. Okay, so first of all, the number 1 objective of this email is to deliver on your promise and then give them other next steps or set expectations. So it's usually better to just say, as promised, here's your free booklet, let's say. And again, I'm assuming that this is free. As promised, here's your free booklet. And then we're gonna move this, the name of the booklet here, and this will be the link as well. And I'm gonna make it blue so that it symbolizes, you know, the link. So as promised, here's your free booklet. And then I'm gonna do like this. Click the link above to get instant access now. So we don't just want them to preview the booklet. We want them to get instant access. We want them to consume the booklet, because if they do, that means that they build much more. They build a relationship with you. They start building the relationship with you, okay? So as soon as they consume this booklet, you will immediately become the go-to expert in this niche in their minds. And guess what? They're 100 times more likely to buy anything from you later on, because now they've consumed something. They've consumed a piece of authority building content that you put out there, okay? So this is really important here. We don't just want them to preview the whole thing. And also, it's usually redundant to say best mobility manual in the world, because who says that? I mean, you have to prove it. You can't just say it. You have to show it. You have to prove it with testimonials, with social proof, with like media appearances or something like that. So we just say, click the link above to get instant access now. And then it's usually a good idea to build a little bit of desire for this, a little bit of extra desire. So we can use a few bullets for this. So we can say, click the link above to get instant access now. Once you do, you'll learn life-changing stuff like, and then let's just give them a few bullets, okay? Life-changing stuff like, and right here, I want to think about a few problems or like nasty problems or burning pains that they have, okay? So I haven't done any research on this topic or on this audience before, before like starting with this email, but I'm assuming they're, power lifters, and it's important for them to stay safe, stay healthy, not get injured. Also because it's about mobility exercises. Probably it's to prevent injuries. So I can sell the idea of preventing injuries. So I can say, once you do, you learn life-changing stuff like the number one reason why most strength athletes get injured. The number one easily avoidable. Let's just say this because it makes it more interesting. It builds more curiosity. The number one easily avoidable reason why most strength athletes get injured. and how you can easily avoid it, which you used easily before. So, and how you can simply avoid it. This is one. We need two more. Let's see. The book is about the 80 most important mobility exercises. So once you do, you learn life-changing stuff like the number one easy avoidable reason why most strength athletes get injured and how you can simply avoid it. Proven tips on how you can train longer, you can train better, longer, and with more, I don't know, let's say stamina, if this is important for the reader. So proven tips. Let's make it even more specific. Let's make five proven tips on how you can train better, longer, and with more stamina, even if you've had an injury before. So this could be important for this target audience. Again, I don't know at this point because I haven't done the research for it, but it can be important, and this is also specific. So that's really important because it makes it more credible, and we also qualify more people with this. Like we qualify people who already had an injury, and they might feel like, yeah, you know, I can't really train anymore like I used to because I've been injured. So this way we give them the number one, we give them like a secret, like what's the reason why people get injured and how they can avoid it. And we also give them tips on what to do if they've already been injured, okay? And then let's give them one more like secret oriented type of thing. So the untold secret of the most successful strength. The untold secret of the world's most successful strength athletes. And we can say athletes, including behind the scenes exercises that almost no one talks about. So again, this is just like I'm riffing here. I haven't done any research for this, but I'm assuming, you know, people want to learn secrets. They might think that the most successful athletes have this type of like hidden knowledge, or like they're this type of secret society who you know, possess skills and techniques or secrets that is the true cause of their success, okay? And by telling them the untold secret of the world's most successful strength athletes, including the behind the scenes exercises that almost no one talks about. So yeah, this could be something interesting to them. So the point of these bullets is simply to make them feel more interested about consuming this whole lead magnet, because that's our number one job here. Okay, and then we can say something like, now, before you dive right into this free booklet, there are two things you should know. Again, we want to just build a little bit of curiosity here. First, and this is the place where we'll put a little type of proof so that people actually inflate the value of this lead magnet in their mind. So I noticed that this student, you know, said that they have some specific type of specifications. So why not mention it? But it's usually better to like mention it in a humble type of way instead of saying that, yeah, this is the best and this is loaded and everything. So we can say first, this book is loaded with proven tips and strategies I've learned throughout my, let's say, 10-year career as a super heavyweight lifter at Michigan USAPL. So we can say something like this. First, this book is loaded with proven tips and strategies I've learned throughout my 10-year career as a super heavyweight lifter at Michigan USAPL. This ain't no airy-fairy theory. This ain't no airy-fairy theory, okay? This ain't no airy-fairy theory. But this ain't no airy-fairy theory. But let's say no. So the thing I want to do here is that I want to position this book as something which is super helpful, super practical, and it's not something that's just theory, okay? So first, this book is loaded with proven tips and strategies I've learned throughout my 10-year career as a super heavyweight lifter at Michigan USAPL. So you better believe that, or even better, so you won't find any airy-fairy theories inside. It's all content based on gym tested, proven principles without all the fluff and whatnot. So we just want to position this again as something more practical, as something more valuable, okay? And this was the first thing I wanted to tell them, and I just wanted to reuse this little part here. And then let's see this question, and let's make it the second part. So first, this book is loaded. Second, so I'm guessing the writer here wanted to dispel a common myth that happens with strength athletes. So let's capitalize on this. Second, here's a quick question. Here's a quick question for you. Do you know the #1 goal in strength sports? And then we can build on this. Here the writer said like a single question and then a little bit of response or answer, but we have to use 3 because it's more appealing to use anything in threes. So second, here's a quick question for you. Do you know the #1 goal in strength sports? Most people think that it's #1 in strength sports. Most people think that it's to get stronger. Let's just brainstorm 2 more things. Or to train longer. Or even something crazy like get ripped and shredded. And I wanted to include this because obviously for strength athletes, this isn't the objective. They just want to get stronger. But in order to get stronger, you probably have to stay uninjured, because if you injure yourself, then you might need a lot of time to recover and you'll lose out on a lot of time, and you'll have to spend so much energy and effort on getting back to your past self, and it's just not a good situation to be in. So this is the unsexy part, to not get injured. Everybody wants to get stronger and lift higher weights, or heavier weights, but the idea here is that if you get injured, you cannot do that, not at all. So we want to sell them the prevention of getting injured, but as you know, it's always harder to sell prevention than to sell a cure. People always want the magic pill. They just want the end result. They just want a cure. And it's hard to sell prevention. And that's why maybe it's a good idea to build a little bit of case for it here. So second, here's a quick question for you. Do you know the #1 goal in strength sports? Most people think that it's to get stronger or to train longer, or even something crazy like getting ripped or shredded. And then let's add something like here. Let's just leave that to bodybuilders, okay? Because, there might be a little bit of rivalry between bodybuilders and strength athletes. Because for strength athletes, it's all about strength. For bodybuilders, it's all about body aesthetics and stuff like that. So maybe something crazy like getting ripped and shredded, let's just leave that to bodybuilders, okay? And then we uncover the truth. But in reality, want to train longer. But in reality, the most important thing for strength athletes is to prevent injuries. Yep. It's true. We can use like these little transition elements called like this, like yep, it's true, to highlight the importance of the statement above once again. So, but in reality, the most important thing for strength athletes is to prevent injuries. It's true. Because it's true. Because if you get injured, it's game over. Because if you get injured in this sport, it's usually game over. You see, it's not always game over, but it can be. A lot of people, when they get injured like this, they might, need years to recover. And if they're above 30 or maybe even 40 or something, maybe they'll never recover enough so that they can be competitive strength lifters. So this is something really serious, and we want to highlight that. So yep, it's true. Because if you get injured in the sport, it's usually game over for you. Sport, it's usually game over for you. Sure. Sure. Some people do recover, but for most, it's a sad goodbye to doing this competitively, something like that. Obviously, we can rewrite it later as well, but I'm just writing this for you to get a better understanding of how I'm thinking about this and how, I'm composing the email itself. So, yep, it's true, because if you get injured in the sport, it's usually game over for you. Sure, some people do recover. Let's use this. But for most, it's a sad goodbye to doing this thing. But for most, they'll never really get back to their previous competitive level, something like that. And then let's connect it with mobility. So we can say something like this. And the best way I know of to prevent injuries is to focus on your mobility, because mobility equals longevity. And now we connected it with this this idea here, because mobility equals longevity, and we can say plus it's also the foundation of your technical ability. Now the writer said something like, your game is forced production, lots of it, and without mobility at some point it'll cost you a steep, more painfully crippling price. So because mobility equals longevity, plus it's also the foundation of your technical ability, which means, so we want to translate it to their number one benefit. They want to get stronger. So we always want to get back to that point. So plus it's also the foundation of your technical ability, which means even more strength. Cool. This failed to plan, plan to fail. I think this is a little bit redundant here. It seems like a rap song, and it's better to just be super clear. Don't try to overwhelm people with these things. But I do like this thing, this iron. So the iron is a merciless beast if you think you bad. You ain't made out of steel cable, and even the almighty steel cable breaks sooner or later. So let's weave this into it somehow. And the best way I know of to prevent injuries is to focus on your mobility, because mobility equals longevity. Plus, it's also the foundation of your technical ability, which means even more strength. You know what? Actually, let's connect it with this thing as well. Look, over my 10 plus years as a competitive power lifter, I've seen all sorts of things. And let me tell you something. You ain't made out of steel cable. You ain't made out of steel cable. And even if you were, even if you were, it's just a matter of time before even the almighty steel cable breaks. So yeah, look, over my 10 plus years as a competitive powerlifter, I've seen all sorts of things. And let me tell you something, you ain't made out of steel cable. And even if you were, it's just a matter of time before the almighty steel cable breaks. So you gotta take care of your body by staying as mobile. So you got to take care of your body by not neglecting, by not ignoring your mobility. So you got to take care of your body and so you got to take care of your body and don't forget about your mobility. Okay, so let's connect this somehow to already existing teachers or gurus in this space, because I'm guessing, you know, this person wants to position his solution as superior to others. Okay, so obviously, so you got to take care of your body and don't forget about your mobility. And don't just spend hours watching the masters of mobility on YouTube and Instagram, like Chris Duffin, Donnie Thompson, or Mike Tersher for pointers. And don't just spend hours watching the masters of mobility on YouTube and Instagram. Like, you know, this is a weird thought here. So I'm just trying to figure out what this writer is trying to do here, because it's a bit confusing. So he said that mobility is important. Okay, we get that. And then he also said that you shouldn't watch the masters of mobility. And it's not because if you do, you know, it's okay. But like his stuff is perfectly organized. But why wouldn't the masters of mobility stuff be perfectly organized? So this is a little bit weird. I would probably just cut it entirely, because there's no need for it. Yes, this whole part is a little weird. So it's like all this value streamlined by main lift will add to not waste your training time. So let's just say, instead of this, let's just say something like, and don't just spend hours watching the masters of mobility on YouTube and Instagram, like Chris Duffin, Donnie Thompson, and Mike Tersher for pointers. Do the exercises yourself and practice. If you do, even though mobility exercises ain't sexy, they're still one of the best ways to actually add to not waste your training results, something like that. So we want to try to position mobility as something that's necessary and it actually gives you a higher performance if you do it, even though most people might think it's not worth it. See, it ain't bullshit. Take advantage. Stop putting off the road to optimal performance. Get your mind right. Start realigning your beat up body. I know what the hell you've gone through to get. I know what the hell you've gone through to get it. Okay, so even though mobility exercise ain't sexy, they're still one of the best ways to actually add to not waste your training result. To actually increase, not waste your training results. So stop putting off the road to optimal performance. Get your mind right. And I like this part, by the way. And start realigning your beat up body by reading this short book. Here's the link again. And then we put the link under it. All right, and I don't, there's some indication here that they should order now and stay mobile. I just feel like this is a bunch of irrelevant information for this email, for the strategy of this email. Yeah, I think this is enough. This is more than enough. And then we just sign off. So see you inside. And then name, something like this. And then we can also have a little PFs to just say, we can just say something like, we want them to reply. Okay, so what can we give them that prompts them to reply? Yes. And once you're done with the booklet, reply directly to this email and let me know the number one thing you've learned. I'm genuinely curious. I'm genuinely curious. Let's just do it like this. I'm genuinely curious. And I read every single response. Yeah, so we want to prompt them to do it. And we can also put this whole thing in bold, because what will happen is that a lot of people will scroll through this email and their eyes will catch this little bold thing, and then we'll say reply directly to this email. Why should I reply? Oh, this number one thing from what? Yeah, okay, so it increases the likelihood of them replying by a lot. So right now, let's see how many words we have. We have like 469 words. Okay, it's average for this type of email. Maybe it's even a little longer than most welcome emails, but let's see how it flows before any major editing or something like that. So welcome, Joseph Taylor. As promised, here's your free booklet, the 80 most important mobility exercises for strength athletes in every discipline. Click the link above to get instant access now. Once you do, you'll learn life-changing stuff like the number one easily avoidable reason why most strength athletes get injured and how you can simply avoid it. We can maybe even bold this. 5 proven tips on how to train better, longer, and with more stamina, even if you've had an injury before. The untold secret of the world's most successful strength athletes, including behind-the-scenes exercises that almost no one talks about. Now, before you dive right into this free booklet, there are 2 things you should know. First, this book is loaded with proven tips and strategies I've learned throughout my 10 plus, let's do it like this, 10 plus year career as a super heavyweight lifter at Michigan USAPL. So let's just cut this So 10 plus career lifter at Michigan. You won't find any airy-fairy theories inside. Instead, it's all content based on gym tested. Instead, all the content is based on gym tested proven principles without all the fluff and whatnot. Second, here's a quick question for you. Do you know the number one goal in strength sports? Most people think that it's to get stronger or to train longer or even something crazy like getting ripped and shredded. But let's just leave that to bodybuilders, okay? In reality, the most important thing for strength athletes is to prevent injuries. Prevent injuries. Let's bold this. Yep, let's bold this entire thing. Yep, it's true. Because if you get injured in this sport, it's usually game over for you. Maybe we don't need this for you. We just say it's usually game over. Sure, some people do recover, but for most, they'll never really get back to their previous competitive level. And the best way I know of to prevent injuries is to focus on mobility, because mobility equals longevity. Plus, it's also the foundation of your technical ability, which means even more strength. Look, over my 10 plus years as a competitive powerlifter, I've seen all sorts of things. And let me tell you something. You ain't made out of steel cable. We can maybe even bold this because it makes it more engaging. As people are scrolling through the email, you know, their eyes will catch this. And even if you were, it's just a matter of time before even the almighty steel cable breaks. So you got to take care of your body. And don't forget about your mobility. And don't just spend hours watching the masters of mobility on YouTube and Instagram. Like, maybe let's change this a little bit. Don't just spend hours watching the masters of mobility like Chris Duffin, Donnie Thompson, and Mike Tershin on YouTube and Instagram for pointers. Do the exercises yourself and practice. Even though mobility exercises ain't sexy, they're still one of the best ways to actually increase, not waste your training results. And stop putting off the road training results. So stop putting off the road to start. So stop putting off the road to optimal performance and start realigning your beat up body and start realigning your mind and beat up body by reading this short book. Here's the link again, and then the link. See you inside name. P.S. And once you're done with the booklet, reply directly to this email and let me know the number one thing you've learned. I'm genuinely curious and I read every single response. So again, check this email out, how much easier it is to read, to understand, to skim through. It's way easier to quickly find little things. Like as I'm scrolling, my eyes catch on things like loaded, airy fairy, gym tested, stronger, most important thing for athletes, 10 plus years, longevity, steel cable, practice, you know, this again, reply directly. My eyes just catch this. So it's much more powerful than the other versions. And if I were to basically test this inside Grammarly, and this is like a free like grammar tool that you can use. Let's see how it does. Because there might be a little typos and grammatical errors here. And again, your writing doesn't have to be perfect, and you know, you don't necessarily have to accept every single recommendation that Grammarly gives you. So these little it's usually trying to be like grammar perfect English, which is, we all know in copywriting circles that it's not the thing that makes people buy something. They don't care about this, okay? If you don't make big typos and all these things, they're going to be fine with this. So it seems like, you know, there's not any, like maybe this because, but again, because of mobility equals longevity, sometimes Grammarly does these weird stuff, but all in all, it's pretty good. And let's also see a Hemingway app, which I really love, because this little tool analyzes your writing and helps you figure out whether it's easy to read or confusing, or it has like, what's the readability level. And ideally, you want to have like a readability level of between like 5th grade and like 8th grade. So let's see how this does. And this is like a 6th grade, so really good, really good. So it seems like most of the text is super easy to read. There are a few things which in red, you know, it means that it's hard to read these sentences, so maybe we can make them easier. But you know, usually it's a good idea. So we don't have too many adverbs. There's only one case in which I'm using passive voice, and it's important to not use too much passive voice. You know, usually I'm using simple language here. Yeah, so it's pretty good. And as you can see, also it's easy to read. So yeah, thank you guys for following along with this. I hope you found it helpful. Leave a comment below and let me know the number one thing that you learned from this email breakdown and email little rewrite session. And also let me know if you want me to do other stuff like this, because you know, I write a lot of copy, I edit a lot of copy, I coach people on how to write better copy. And no, I'm not the world's best copywriter ever. There are always better people than me, but I'm always improving. And I think, you know, without any prior research or something like that, an email like this will do much better than what the original email looked like. Okay, So if you want more like these, just leave a comment below and let me know, and I can break down emails, sales pages, Facebook ads, and all these things. So thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.